everyone, and welcome to another edition of Chalk Talk here on the DK Pittsburgh Sports Steelers YouTube channel. Chris Halicke here. We are going back into Aaron Rodgers' 2024 season with the Jets. Week 11 against the Colts, it was a 28-27 loss. This is a really good game as to give it as an example of don't look at the box score. It does not tell the story, and this not in Rodgers' favor this time. He was 22 of 29 for 184 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, a passer rating of 114.7. It was not that good. ESPN QBR of 38.4. PFF grade was pretty much just as insulting. Actually, one of the lowest of the season for him. They gave him a grade of 48.4, passing grade of 50. A rushing grade of 55.7, which he only had 1 carry for 7 yards on a scramble. No big-time throws, 2 turnover-worthy plays, which I have both of those in here for sure. It just goes to show, again, he completed 75.9% of his passes, but he barely threw the ball downfield. His average depth of target in this game was 4.4 yards. That is the lowest on the season. I don't know what the Jets were thinking going into this game in terms of a game plan, but it didn't work. Again, this just and Rodgers was was on record after the game. Let me pull up the quote real quick, and then we'll get into the film. Let me see. I mean, it's disappointing. I know I've said that 3 times in a row now, or 3 times now, but we've been working really hard to try to figure out what the issues are. It's not just one person. Sometimes it's me. Sometimes it's somebody else. And that is pretty much the truth from what we're seeing on film. Sometimes it's Rodgers. Sometimes it's the offensive line. Sometimes it's a receiver. Sometimes it just nothing. I won't say nothing, but rarely are things just all on the same page and works in unison together. It's bad. This is the first play of the game, and this is just going to be a go ball to Garrett Wilson down here. And this is like the one time they really tried to test the Colts deep, and it's pretty. You got one high safety back. It's a good time to try to take a shot. And it's a pretty good ball. It just doesn't connect. It's a little far, a little out of Garrett Wilson's reach. Maybe a tad bit overthrown. But gosh, man, I don't know. At this point, in terms of going through, it's a little far. But in terms of just as we've been going through this season, this has been the consistent theme, is pretty much exactly what Rodgers said, is that this is a mess altogether. And Rodgers is clearly at a point in his career, based off of the first 11 games of the season, he's at a point in his career where he should not be asked to be the savior. Everything's limited compared to what he used to do. Now, what he used to do was one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. But, yeah, and here's a kind of a good example of a play in which Rodgers, I would put more of the blame on him. You get this, play action rollout, and I don't know when we get to the end zone view if he's trying to go for Devontae here, which looks, you may think, oh, that's open, but you got a safety over the top, which he pretty much runs straight into the safety, so you don't want to do that. It's actually this tight end here that I'm looking at and wondering if this is who he's targeting. And again, this isn't just me assuming based off of the film. This needs to be thrown right when the back foot hits. Back foot, and then rip it fast. He's still got the arm strength. That part, I mean, this defender is not going to crash over in enough time to cut that off. You can fit that in that window. And you can see here from the end zone view. And back foot hits there. If you rip that now and put it about right there, that has a chance of getting caught. It's tight coverage, not denying that, but this is also just trusting your guy to make a play. And you can even see the separation he ends up getting, and maybe he just doesn't trust it. Maybe he doesn't think, okay, he's going to get enough separation. Maybe this defender will get over there in enough time. I don't know, but he, for whatever reason, does not trust it. So he just goes to check it down here. It doesn't work. He's lucky this isn't called a fumble, because it could have been. Yeah, that easily could have been a fumble. But next play, it's bad. This is just bad all around. Yeah, and this one, again, on Rodgers here. This is one of the turnover-worthy plays. He gets to the back foot. Garrett Wilson's kind of running this drift route right here. And this is open. I mean, if he leads him, to about there, I mean, Wilson's got the separation. He throws it behind and it's nearly picked. This is kind of, I don't understand I'll never understand when a guy has unorthodox footwork, how, it works for them, but whenever they miss, you're kind of like, well, your footwork's all weird. He doesn't step forward. He steps to the side. This left foot comes out to the side. It looks like he's kind of throwing off his back foot. He just kind of sidearms that thing, or it's just like all arms and nothing is from his base. And it ends up being way off, way behind, nearly picked. Again, if this ball is, right there, it's a completion. And it's a good completion. Instead, it's behind and nearly picked off. Yeah, it's just, this is not Rodgers' best game. This is probably one of his worst games of the season. He was inaccurate. The quick game was, he never got in rhythm with the quick game. And maybe that's why they didn't take any shots downfield, because if a quarterback's not feeling it, then you don't want to take risks. So you're just going to try to manage the game best you can whenever you're throwing it short. The problem is the Jets didn't have a running game to lean on. They carried the ball 20 times for 91 yards, which 4.6 yards a carry. It's not too bad. But again, they didn't run it a lot. They again tried to do more through the air than on the ground. They, not a fan of that approach. Rodgers here, let's see, back foot hits. He is clearly wanting to throw something there, but he obviously holds on because this guy's not looking, this guy's not looking, this guy's not looking. So somebody is not doing the right thing according to what Rodgers is thinking. Because Rodgers is expecting it to throw it there, nobody's looking. And, I mean, Adams is running this arrow. Maybe he thinks Adams is running a slant. Because he is expecting to throw it there. It's not there. So then he has to improvise. Now, what he probably needs to do is just go ahead and check it down right there. I mean, it's open. Just get it out. But by that point, he's already under pressure, under duress. And just bad things happen. Again, clearly expecting to throw, holds on to it because nobody's looking. And he does. I mean, he immediately goes over to his check down. And he probably just needs to just hurry up and just get rid of it. But he doesn't. He gets sacked. I wouldn't necessarily put this solely on Rodgers. I'd probably put this more on the offensive line because, again, if the offensive line can't protect beyond the quarterback's first read, it's not great, But at the same time, Rodgers, your eyes got over to the check down. You just need to get it out. So that one's kind of some shared blame there, probably. We're in the second quarter now. Again, this is, if this is supposed to be, it doesn't look like that he's going to Wilson the whole time. Kind of does this hitch, like the back foot hits, and he kind of does this hitch thing before he throws. And, initially there's enough separation. So, like, if the back foot hits and he gets rid of it, like, immediately, then maybe it gets out there in enough time. But does Garrett Wilson get enough? I mean, yeah, he gets to the first down marker. He's pretty much right there, right at the first down marker, which is there. Yeah, he's pretty much right there. Okay. Ball gets there. I mean, it's completed, but the defender is able to get there in enough time. Let's look at Rodgers from this angle again. So it's that kind of little hop. That hop. He definitely checks over to his left first, but he might just be checking the coverage. Just when Rodgers was not efficient in the quick game, it looked more like this. It looked kind of slow, a little more lackadaisical. It didn't look as crisp and clean. This looked like just sludgy. And it gets out. I mean, it comes out late. You don't end up getting the play that you need. Yeah. It's not good. This was not Rodgers' best game at all. This was a pretty bad game. Good old Hank here from the Jets, really quick. For those who don't know Hank, you get tight end running here. That's your number one read. This is number one. You get a curl here. You get a flat, and you get a flat. So pretty much what you're doing is you're reading this 1 to 2 on either side, depending on the coverage. And then this would be your 3 or your check down on either side. So you typically always read this curl first. Rodgers does. It's open. He gets it out. Nice little completion. I expect to see more Hank this year from the Steelers. Very, very basic concept. And again, back foot, ball comes out. See, that's more what the quick game looks like whenever things are working. It's quick, back foot hits, ball gets out quick. It's there. That's the way it usually looks. And Rodgers began to get into a little bit of a rhythm on this drive. Because I believe, this is the next play. Adams is running a quick little slant here. And again, we look at anticipation. Ball separates there. Adams isn't even out of his break. He's kind of just getting into his, he's not even out of his break. And Rodgers is already getting rid of the ball. Without that anticipation, this doesn't get completed because this defender crashes in pretty quickly. It ends up being a really tight window. It's right on the money. Ends up being a really, really good play. Adams then makes a play. He sheds those two guys. He ends up getting way downfield for a nice chunk. But again, this does not happen without the anticipation. This is trusting your receiver. I mean, ball separating there. I mean, so this is like right when the back foot's hitting. I mean, the ball's coming out. And it's right there. I mean, right where it needs to be, away from this defender, before this defender has a chance to get there and close the window. This is really well done by Rodgers. And Adams. I mean, great play by Adams to not only make the catch, but then make a play and get more yardage afterward. This is the kind of stuff that I would expect to see every now and then from the Steelers with DK Metcalf now, because that's a guy who can make things happen after the catch. There might not be a receiver that's probably better equipped to break tackles than DK Metcalf. Rodgers here, kind of wanting to throw this little to Adams. He doesn't. Looks like they're running levels here. Yeah. We've got a little levels concept going on over here. Rodgers doesn't like it. He probably could have thrown this if he wanted to, but he doesn't. Instead, he checks it down, which this ends up working out. Sometimes, check downs work. and it ends up going for a touchdown. So, yeah. I think he wanted to throw it. Wasn't quite there. Yeah. Check it down. There is this one really big misconception about checkdowns that, you know, if the quarterback checks it down, he's kind of failing at his job. Checkdowns are there for a reason. You know, sometimes it's okay to check it down. You don't want to check it down a lot. And I've seen some people be like, oh, Rodgers was just checking it down constantly last year. He was 11th in the league in checkdown rate among quarterbacks who played at least 10 games. And which that includes Justin Fields. I know Justin Fields only started 6 games, but he played in at least 10. And Justin Fields led the league in checkdown rate. And Russell Wilson was 4th. So Rodgers checked it down less often with a worse offensive line. So checkdowns aren't always a bad thing. And this is one play that it kind of goes to show. Especially if you have a player like a running back who can make things happen. Breece Hall can. Happen against the Steelers. Next play. Again, this is another turnover-worthy play. When you rely too much on the quick game, the defense begins to pick up on it. This is usually when you want to throw some change-ups, run things like smash. Jets did this earlier in the season. I can't remember exactly when, but they were running quick game, like all the time, and then all of a sudden they run smash, and Devontae Adams gets wide open for a nice go ball, you know, down the right side, and ends up going for a touchdown. You know, you can throw some change-ups in there, and they just didn't do that in this game, and the Colts ended up picking up on it. It's thrown to the outside, which it needs to be, but again, the timing isn't bad. But this is just, again, the Colts anticipating what the Jets are going to be doing because they're running so much quick game. And again, why are they running quick game? Was it because Rodgers didn't want to throw it deep? Was it because he didn't want to throw it anywhere else? And, I mean, from what we're seeing here, this is all designed quick game stuff. This isn't like, oh, I'm turning down a whole bunch of stuff downfield. We've seen him, turn down one thing downfield so far? And some other ones that, you know, there was a play in the first half that I don't have on here where they ran dagger. Garrett Wilson was the one running the in route, and Rodgers tried to hit him, but he got hit by his own offensive lineman as he was throwing, and the throw ended up being off. You know, so a lot of the reasons why I don't think you're seeing the Jets try to test things downfield other than with go balls is because the offensive line they couldn't protect him long enough. They just couldn't. And so they were just like, well, we're just going to have to rely on quick game. And this is what happens. When you are limited because of your offensive line's inability to protect, your entire passing game is going to be limited because you can't protect your quarterback beyond 2.5 seconds. It's just it's bad stuff, man. Like, again, you know, Rodgers, he catches. This one's out pretty quick. I mean, again, he catches it. Quick little 3-step, back foot, ball comes out. Defender's just on it. It's easy to anticipate this stuff when you just do the same stuff over and over again, and it's all quick game. You can play close, you can play press. It's just easier to anticipate. It's easier. It makes it easier for the defense. Next play, another quick game concept, and this one, again, it just goes to show Rodgers is expecting a quick little out here. Conklin, like, he's turning his head immediately. Like, I don't know if he's expecting Rodgers to just hit him like that. But, I mean, Rodgers is getting, like, the ball is beginning. He's starting his throwing motion there. Conklin isn't even, notice, coming out of his break. This one's a deeper curl, so he's not going to be out of his break yet. You got these quick little slants here. So you got slants there, and you've got this, and you've got this. That's what they're running. So you got Lions on this side. That's the Lions concept, by the way. And Rodgers is clearly expecting this, and Conklin's just slow to get there. So sometimes it's Rodgers, sometimes it's somebody else. This team is a mess, man. They're terrible. There's a reason why after this game they were 3-8. Bad football team. This is the one thing. The Jets actually had a couple of good runs on this drive. And when you run the football successfully, guess what? It opens things up through play action. Run the motion here. I mean, look at the number of Colts that are selling out for the run here. And even when the tight end breaks off and gets into the flat, you get both of those defenders crashing in on the quarterback. They leave him wide open. Easy pitch and catch. Easy touchdown. I mean, take that all day, every day. Easy stuff. Running game opens up so much when you can run the football. Why the Jets didn't try to run the ball more, I have no idea. Can't begin to explain that one. I mean, they completely sell out. You get this corner running a blitz here. Tight end does a good job here. He actually isn't even anticipating this defender, or like he's blocking that and then getting off the block, so he does a good job. But then that corner also blitzing, or safety, defensive back, whoever it is, he blitzes. You then throw into the blitz. It's good stuff. As the game went on, we began to see a little bit more of the Rodgers of old. The game's close. At this point in the game, actually, so the game context really does matter here. The Jets were holding on to a 24-22 lead. They got the ball back with 10-11 to go in the fourth quarter. And what you obviously want to do is you want to get more points. You got to get more points. You don't want to cling to a 2-point lead and just trust your defense. And 1st and 10, they try to run it. They only get a yard. Then they try this. By the way, the Jets probably ran at least 5 screens in this game, if not more, and they didn't execute one of them. Every single screen. Do you think the Steelers are bad at executing screens? I don't think I've ever seen a team be worse than the Steelers at executing screens. The Jets are somehow worse. They could not execute one, and on the next play, on 2nd and 9, they tried to hit one to Breece Hall. Guy just left completely unblocked. It ends up being a 5-yard loss. So now it's 3rd and 14, and now you're trying to milk the clock and score points. You're trying to pretty much not do a 4-minute offense, but like an 8-minute offense. So you're trying to nickel and dime your way downfield, but then you get into 3rd and 14, and this is when Rodgers, begins to look a little bit more like Aaron Rodgers that everybody's used to. They are obviously running a concept that's going downfield, that's going to attack downfield. The Colts rush only 3. That's a mistake. When you are 3rd and 14, I get wanting to make sure that nobody gets behind you and you want to protect the sticks. But if you've been watching film this year at all on the Jets, they cannot. I mean, all you have to do is rush forward, do a stunt, do something. Don't do this drop 8 stuff and let Rodgers make a play. Because he still can do it. I don't know if teams didn't think that he could do it anymore, but this is whenever he's not leaving the pocket because he's under duress. He's leaving the pocket because there's nothing open, and so now I'm gonna get outside and improvise. Gibson does a really good job here of seeing that and finding some open space. Rodgers makes a good throw on the run. Boom, completion, 17 yards on 3rd and 14. You move the chains. This is why you just got to attack. You have to rush at least 4. Do a stunt. Do something. You can't just do this drop 8 stuff against Aaron Rodgers, not even at 40 years old. And he was like, I think, only just a couple of weeks from turning 41 by this point in the season. I mean, you rush only 3, you drop 8. Rodgers, I mean, again, just get outside the pocket, try to make something happen. Good throw on the run, right on him. Completion, get both feet down. Good stuff there. Let's see, what do we got for the next play? This is at the Colts 44. So next few plays, short pass to Garrett Wilson for 4 yards. Holding on the Jets. Backs it up to 2nd and 14 on the next play. Rodgers hits Corley for 10 yards. 3rd and 4, they hit a little quick game stuff to Ruckert. I remember that. Then a 1-yard gain on Breece Hall. Again, they're just not running the football. Now it's 2nd and 9. Nice little change up here. Nice little change up. They're milking the clock down. By this time, the clock's down to 4:55. They got the ball with 10-11 to go. Now they've milked it down to 4:55. They've taken more than 5 minutes off the clock. And you get the 2nd and 9. You're now on their side of the 50. You actually got a drive going. Everything's working. Nice change up here. Jets ends up running an RPO. You get this kind of 6-man front. They're kind of showing a blitz here. Adams is just pretty much running right there. And if the Colts blitz or these linebackers don't drop back, Rodgers is just going to hit him real quick. If these linebackers drop back, then he'll hand it off to Breece Hall. You'll run it. Hopefully you get some yards, have a 3rd and manageable. Maybe he breaks one. You get 1st down. Who knows? Colts, the linebackers don't really drop back. It's open. And you can see, I mean, the when the ball gets handed out like this and the eyes are right there, this is RPO all the way. He's looking at Adams. What's happening? Does this linebacker drop back? No. This guy's backpedaling. We've got all this green space right there. Hit him real quick. Easy completion. Again, you don't have to be this mastermind offensive guru to try to have some nice little change-ups in there. Throw in an RPO every now and then. RPOs are great. Don't want to run an entire offense off of RPO. You don't want to be Ole Miss. But goodness, like this creates so much, and that gains you 19 yards. You get down into field goal range, so now you're getting a chance to make this, to force, or even if you only settle for a field goal, you're going to force the Colts to score a touchdown, which is what ends up happening, by the way. But again, really good stuff from Rodgers and from the Jets. Even for a bad football team, it happens every now and then. Nice little change up. The edge rusher here kind of playing a little bit of contain, but obviously wanting to crash down. But you get the ball out, but obviously he sees all this open grass. Nobody dropped back into coverage. Easy decision. And the quick release. I mean, just watch real time here of how quick the release can be for Rodgers still. Whoop! It could still be real quick for him, and right on him. Makes the play. Adams makes a play. 19 yards. Nice play call. Got to give it to him. Even for a bad football team. Nice play call. Nice change up. Get a guy out in the open. Good stuff. So, yeah, the Jets end up settling for a field goal. I remember going through, and some of the play calls, they did a screen on 3rd and 10. It was both a combination of terrible execution, bad play calling. They end up settling for a field goal, making it 27-22. The Colts end up going down, scoring a touchdown. They don't get the 2-point conversion, so they're only up 28-27. So the Jets still have a chance. They only have one timeout. And I think they only have one timeout. Yeah, they only have one timeout. This is the first play. First play, Rodgers gets it. Nothing really open. I mean, this guy's covered, not even really out of his break. Adams is running this deep out, but I don't think Rodgers ever really looks at him. I don't think he's ever really part of the primary part of the progression. He feels the pressure right away. Again, just rush 4. You don't have to rush a whole bunch in order to win against this offensive line. That's exactly what happens. Rodgers steps up, and you can't see it from this angle, but he tries to make this really, really dumb, not even sidearm, but like, I'll just have to show you. He just tries to dump this off to the tight end over here and ends up missing terribly. It ends up being a bad fumble. They lose a lot of yards. Somehow they only lost, they lost 13 yards on this. But again, I mean, guard loses right away. Tackle's losing. This is just pathetic. I don't know what you're thinking here. Why you're trying that throw. No idea. No clue. But, oh boy. It's so bad. Anyway, they get the 2nd and 23. They get a quick little hitter to Breece Hall for 11 yards. They even get a delay game after that, like the Colts committed delay games. So they get 3rd and 7, but by that time there's 13 seconds to go. They're on their own 33. There's not really much you can do. And that was the ball game. So it was just a bad game overall. Bad game for Rodgers. Bad game for the Jets. And another game, again, that could have been one that they lost. And this is what bad teams do. When you are not clean in a number of ways, you're going to lose a lot of these games. When you don't have a running game, when your quick game isn't efficient, when you don't try to do anything to test the defense deep, or even whenever you do, you can't execute because either your receiver isn't making the catch or your quarterback's missing the throw or the offensive line can't protect your quarterback. It's always a number of things. It's on certain throws, like the one we saw, first play of the game, or first throw of the game. Rodgers looks like a pretty decent ball, a little far, just doesn't connect. It's a low percentage throw. There are other ways to test, and then again, it wasn't on here, but you tried dagger to attack middle of the field, and Rodgers couldn't hit it because he got hit by his own offensive lineman because he was losing and getting pushed back as he was throwing, and so the throw ends up being off. So it's a bad football team, guys. Bad football team. The Jets ended up going in on their bye the next week. So when we come back, we've got 6 games left, thankfully. I'm already tired of watching all this Jets film. But when we come back, the Jets will be done with their bye. They play the Seahawks at home. We'll see how that goes. Catch you on the Flippity Flip. See you later.